Announcer, welcome to this high-stakes explainer debate. Today, we're tackling the ultimate paradox of human history. Does the brutal, devastating reality of war actually drive human progress? Or does peace unlock our true scientific potential? Welcome to the Great Progress Debate. In the right corner, defending the uncomfortable, pragmatic truth, Dr. Smith. And in the left corner, championing the analytical reality of human potential, Dr. Anna. Let's dive right in.
Let's just be brutally honest from the get-go here. You and I are communicating over a global network right now, sitting in perfectly climate-controlled rooms, enjoying literally unprecedented technological comfort. And for all of that, I have to sarcastically say, thank you, threat of global annihilation. War and the sheer panic of state survival is absolutely the ultimate engine of human innovation. Oh, please, Smith, keep rolling out that tired old cliché. Let's get real. If humanity didn't spend trillions of dollars and centuries of brainpower figuring out how to efficiently blow each other to tiny pieces, we'd probably have cured every disease by now and be vacationing on Mars. Welcome to the economic reality of opportunity costs, everyone. War doesn't invent a thing, it just steals.
Round 1. War, the mother of invention.
I'm coming out swinging for this one, Anna. Look, the historical record is crystal clear. Without the urgent, existential threat of a neighboring country literally trying to wipe us off the map, humans are fundamentally lazy. We absolutely need a fire lit under us. The military simply writes the blank checks that the free market never, ever would. Just think about your modern conveniences for a second. Radar, that was invented for air defense, and now it's air traffic control and the microwave oven sitting in your kitchen. Walkie-talkies, purely military. Duct tape, invented back in 1942 just to seal ammunition cases. Jet engines, born right in the skies of World War II. And let's definitely not forget the absolute crown jewel here, the internet itself, birthed by the US military as a decentralized communication network. You love your smartphone apps? You can thank the military-industrial complex. Just look at the massive leap from the first to the second industrial revolution. From the 1880s onward, sure, the internal combustion engine revolutionized civilian life, but it was World War I that actually weaponized it. The tank was literally just an armored tractor. Military funding rapidly, and I mean rapidly, accelerated the mechanization of mobility on tracks and in the air. The pace of technological innovation became so insanely fast that the best army of one generation would just be totally crushed by the next. The National World War II Museum sums up my argument perfectly. Quote, "Necessity is the mother of invention." World War II presented tactical and logistical challenges on a scale the world had literally never seen before. Americans needed more supplies, much bigger bombs, far faster airplanes. The absolute necessity of surviving that massive global conflict was the ultimate catalyst for human ingenuity. It transformed warfare, yes, but it also transformed civilian life forever. All right, my turn. Smith, your argument is just a classic logical fallacy. You're looking at all the shiny toys the military built and completely ignoring what we could have built with that exact same money. Let's talk about the crowding out effect. Right now, governments spend hundreds of billions on their defense budgets. That massive spending physically steals resources, top talent, and capital right away from productive civilian investments. We're talking infrastructure, high-tech civilian industries, and education. You're sitting there celebrating the microwave oven while totally ignoring the fact that we actively hindered long-term economic growth just to get it. And let's completely expose this myth of sudden wartime genius, shall we? Take a look at this quote from Vannevar Bush, the literal godfather of U.S. wartime science. He explicitly stated that wartime research was really just applying existing scientific knowledge. The iconic inventions of World War II, radar, the atomic bomb, the computer, these were all built on a massive backlog of theoretical physics and math. And guess when that was developed? During decades of peaceful, curiosity-driven basic science. War just hijacked peaceful science to kill people faster. Round 2, building states versus destroying minds. Let's look at the absolute bedrock of political science. Charles Tilly gave us the ultimate truth here. War made the state, and the state made the war. Look at European history. Why do we have modern bureaucracies, centralized taxation, and unified populations? It's because if rulers didn't build incredibly strong institutions to fund their armies, they got conquered. It's that simple. The existential threat of war is literally the only mechanism powerful enough to force a society to organize itself efficiently. War didn't just make weapons, it made the modern nation-state. Yes, it made the state by organizing humanity into highly efficient death camps, Smith. You are completely glossing over the black hole of intellect. War doesn't just destroy buildings, it destroys civilization's memory. For every single technological leap you claim war caused, how many centuries of accumulated knowledge were just lost to burning libraries? How many brilliant scholars were executed as prisoners of war? We have had to restart our intellectual progress time and time again simply because armies absolutely love to burn down the achievements of their rivals. And this whole idea that the warlike European state is the only path to progress is just ridiculous. Look at the ancient Indus Valley civilization. They built massive, highly organized urban centers with advanced plumbing, they focused heavily on trade and civilian life, and they left virtually no evidence of massive warfare. As Chomsky famously pointed out, Europe conquered the world because its favorite sport of mutual slaughter made it savage. We could absolutely have built a highly advanced, organized global civilization based on trade and peace, rather than blood and taxes.
Round 3. The digital front and the cost of conflict.
Well, the military-industrial complex has packed its bags and moved straight from Washington to Silicon Valley, and it is driving the very next wave of human evolution, artificial intelligence. The Pentagon is funneling multi-billion-dollar contracts into big tech, venture capital, and private equity to build AI-enabled defense systems, autonomous drones, and cutting-edge cybersecurity tools. This massive injection of capital into tech startups that love to move fast and break things is hyper-accelerating AI development. So, once again, military urgency is forcing a technological revolution.
A revolution in wasting money, you mean? The absurdity of modern military spending is just staggering. The military spends decades and literally trillions of dollars building prohibitively expensive, exquisite platforms like these advanced stealth fighter jets. And what happens? They are now completely vulnerable to a swarm of cheap, $1,000 consumer drones powered by basic off-the-shelf commercial tech. The dynamic has completely flipped on its head. The military isn't driving innovation anymore. They are just desperately trying to adapt to cheap, attritable civilian tech that is making their shiny toys totally obsolete. And honestly, this leads to a terrifying new paradigm: networked, participatory warfare. In places like Ukraine and Myanmar, the line between civilian and combatant has totally eroded. You have everyday civilians with smartphones using encrypted apps, 3D printing drone parts right in their living rooms, and crowdfunding sniper rifles. War is no longer just state versus state, it's a crowdsourced nightmare.
I completely disagree with the nightmare framing there. This is the ultimate democratization of defense. A rebel force in Myanmar with scavenged agricultural drones and tech-savvy volunteers from YouTube can literally hold off a heavily funded military junta.
This extreme technological asymmetry acts as a brilliant force multiplier. It proves my exact point. Humans will innovate their way out of a corner using whatever digital tools they have at their disposal. Smith, they aren't inventing the future. They are just taking peaceful commercial innovations like smartphones and social media and turning them into cheaper, faster, and more decentralized ways to kill each other. You call it a force multiplier. I call it the catastrophic failure of international humanitarian law.
The final verdict: war versus peace.
My verdict is simple. History really doesn't care about your feelings, Anna. Progress is messy, and it is forged in the fire of survival. War forces rapid, massive R&D injections that the free market is just too cowardly to ever make. It builds states, it unifies populations, and it gave us the modern technological world. Without the threat of war, we would be entirely stagnant. And my verdict is that you are celebrating the parasite while completely ignoring the host. War merely hijacks the beautiful, curiosity-driven innovations of peaceful science. It steals vital resources from education and infrastructure, and it burns down centuries of knowledge. True progress only happens in the periods of peace right between the slaughter.
And there you have it, a clash of history, economics, and human nature. The ultimate question remains unresolved for us today. Does humanity really need the threat of annihilation to invent the future? Are we destined to only reach the stars because we are terrified of our neighbors here on Earth? Thank you for joining us for this explainer debate. Leave your thoughts, pick your side, and keep questioning the true cost of our technological marvels.